Now at 5, streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a shooting left a 17-year-old man hospitalized Friday night.
A new possible motive is revealed in the murder of an Edna woman.
And the restoration of the Luther Hotel is in high gear after a renowned historian and philosopher steps in.
We, of course, had a blazing day. It was 99. So does that mean that tomorrow is 100? I think so. We'll be talking about the heat and how long will it last. There's a little glimmer of hope at the end of this week. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes.
Plus, detectives in Austin were able to crack a cold case open. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon. Thanks for being with us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I am Amaya Norman.
An update now. The shooting in Victoria last Friday night. The shooting was at the Victoria Trails apartment complex at 5609 John Stockbauer Drive North. Victoria police found a 17-year-old man with a gunshot wound. He was transported to the hospital. He is in stable condition. The investigation continues. If anyone has information on the shooting, contact Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200 or investigations at 361-53700. Victoria County deputies arrested a 51-year-old woman Saturday. Amelia Gandy of McAllen is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. She is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $50,000 bond.
Victoria ISD hired JCA Law to lead the search for a new superintendent. The job vacancy officially closed on September 5th. After that, a series of interviews will narrow it down to just one candidate. The district scheduled a series of community meetings to collect input. The last one is set for 6 p.m. today at Mission Valley Elementary School. There is also a superintendent search survey that the community can take part in on the district website. The district plans to name a new superintendent in December.
Victoria police arrested a 29-year-old man Saturday. Zachary Martinez of Victoria faces 3 charges, including obstruction or retaliation. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $52,850 bond.
The DPS arrested a 43-year-old man Friday. Mark Vincent faced a charge of indecency with a child sexual contact. He is in the DeWitt County Jail in lieu of $135,000 bond.
Victoria County deputies arrested 2 people Saturday night. 35-year-old Jackie Caballero and 45-year-old Christopher Rocha, both of Bloomington, are charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. They are in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $50,000 bond each. El Campo police arrested a 30-year-old man Saturday. David Palacios of El Campo faces 3 charges, including online solicitation of a minor. He is in the Wharton County Jail in lieu of $85,000 bond. And more information has come out on the murder of Roseanne Martinez in Edna. Police reported the accused killer, Ramon Palacios, was sitting outside of the back porch waiting for their arrival. Ramon's father directed the police to his son's location and let police know the victim was shot. Palacios told police he believed Martinez was cheating on him before he shot her. Palacios is still in custody at the Jackson County Detention Center.
Now let's take a first look at your first warn storm team forecast. Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez join us now with a look at what's going on outside. Mac.
Well, it was a hot one. Look at the current temperatures. We're down to 98 degrees. We're at 99 down in Bloomington, and in western areas, even Karnes City made it to 100. We are right now under the dome, we've talked about. That dome is totally in control, but there's a little glimmer of hope as we get to the weekend that we may actually see a shower. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. Back to you.
Mac, thank you. Police in North Texas are investigating a crash that happened overnight. Police say a black Chevy Camaro was driving very fast on Interstate 35 in Fort Worth when it rear-ended a car at the Seminary exit. The car that was rear-ended caught fire, and the 5 people who were inside did not survive. The driver of the Camaro was seriously injured and taken to a nearby hospital. Fort Worth PD's Traffic Investigation Unit is now piecing together everything they can about what happened before making any charges. A decades-old cold case in Austin may finally have been solved. Police have identified a suspect accused of killing a woman in 1980.
Police are still searching for one more person in connection with the crime.
This is Doug Brewer Jr., the man Austin police say matches up with the DNA from the sexual assault and murder of Susan Lee Wolf in 1980. The renewed push to find Susan's killer began again last year when cold case detectives submitted a sample to the DPS crime laboratory, which found it suitable for testing.
What originally occurred to me is, as fantastic a story as this is, and we're seeing a glut of cold cases that are decades old being solved through a variety of new methodologies, is why the DNA was not recovered and compared back in 98, 99, 2000 when the DNA data bank went online.
Michael Arnfield is a cold case expert at Western University in Ontario. He says it's possible investigators did not have a lot of the sample.
Until recently, with improvements in DNA technology, a considerable amount of DNA was required in order to be uploaded to the system or to be compared one-to-one.
I reached out to Austin police for an interview, but they declined. In Massachusetts, investigators talked to Brewer, who admitted he was in Austin and San Antonio around the time of the murder. When they told him they had DNA linking him to a murder, he asked for an attorney. I talked to a cold case detective about this murder nearly a decade ago. Detective Jay Swan told me in 2015 that Wolf had been kidnapped, then sexually assaulted, strangled, and shot.
It was a very violent attack. There was very obvious signs of trauma.
And there's a lot of anger in this murder, right? Because anytime you see a murderer abduct someone, in public, there's a lot of anger typically in that offender. So I would not be at all surprised if other victims aren't linked to him.
That's Joe Kennedy, a former NCIS cold case detective.
A lot of departments, don't have the luxury of supporting cold cases due to the lack of manpower, resources, et cetera. But looks like they did a great job in getting this killer off.
But police are still looking for one more person who a witness said was in the car at the time of the murder.
He said it was a 1970 Dodge Polara.
Brewer is currently in jail in Massachusetts on unrelated charges.
There's a town hall set for this Thursday at 6:30 in Bloomington to discuss a nonprofit plan to incorporate parts of Bloomington as a village of Bloomington. The nonprofit wanted it on the ballot of this November, but the 13th Court of Appeal ruled the group has not met the requirements to have the Victoria County Commissioner Court call for an election. This meeting is at 13316 State Highway 185 in Bloomington. After a long period of uncertainty, the future of the Luther Hotel is looking bright. The Palestinian Presentation Association community members and many volunteers saved the Luther Hotel from destruction. The future of the Luther Hotel will continue to stand near the Bay Water for many years to come, thanks to a well-known Texas historian, J.P. Bryan, who is the great-great-nephew of Stephen F. Austin.
We needed to save it for that. That wasn't the end game. The reason for saving it was to sell it to someone who would restore it, and that's what happened today.
Gower says it should take about 2 to 2 in a year to fully restore the hotel and to begin accepting guests again.
And here's your viral poll this afternoon. Scan the QR code. I guess we won't be able to see the QR code on your screen to vote. And here's the question. Once the Luther Hotel is restored, will you visit? Yes, book me a room, or yes, I'll drive by, or no. Those are your choices. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com. There you go. Oh, tight voting so far. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we will have an answer on 25 News Now at 6.
Let's Grow Texas AG airs tonight at 6:30, right after 25 News Now at 6. That's right here on KAVU TV. And you can watch at 9:35 p.m. on KVC TV.
Here's a preview of tonight's show with Joe Adams.
Did you know that Wharton County is responsible for approximately 25% of ag-related products in the Crossroads region, despite having a population of only 41,000 individuals?
All right, folks, welcome back to Let's Grow Texas Ag. And we're going to get back in the buggy with Mr. Jim Williams. And we're going to see where he thinks the Brahmin industry is headed from here. What's the next 30 years?
Well, you know, I wonder, that's a great question, Joe. Where are we going to go from here? I've got fence posts over there I built, and everything when I was building it, I used big cedar fence posts. I got them from Keith Foxwell down at Elkham. You probably know Keith.
Sure do.
And a bull customer of ours and longtime friend. And I said, these cedar posts to be here when my grandkids are running this ranch. But with Houston moving out on us so much and the demand for this land, and especially land that has this trees and this type setting where it's peaceful and nice, shoot, it might be a shopping center here in 30 years. You know, it's moving that quick. So I don't know, and I hope my kids and grandkids can keep this legacy going, but I tell them, you know, if you need to do something else and you're just boxed in, I'll be dead and gone. And y'all just do what y'all think, you know, what think's the best. I can sit here, shoot, an hour and look at things or do paperwork under this tree and all these kids be up around here. Now that's living, you know?
That's tonight. Check it out. You may be wondering who this young lady to my left is. Her name is Amaya Norman. Welcome, and tell everybody about the Amaya Norman story.
Oh, the Amaya Norman story. Wow. Well, thank you for having me, and I am so grateful to be here in Victoria, Texas. For those out there who do not know me, I am Amaya Norman, as he says, and I am from a small town called Centerville, Mississippi. So yes, I'm from Mississippi. That means I am a country girl. So I was born in Jackson, Mississippi, but I was raised up in Centerville, Mississippi. And I went to a small public school called Wilkinson County High School. After I did my years there, then I went on to the University of Southern Mississippi, and I did my 4 years there, and I anchored and reported at the Student Media Center there as well. I then graduated and landed a position here, and now I'm here. So that's really a small story about Amaya Norman.
So you're used to being in the humidity near the Gulf?
Yes, I am, near the Gulf.
So you're right at home?
Yeah, right at home. The weather from Mississippi is totally different from Texas weather. It's very hot out here than down there, but yeah. So yeah.
Well, we welcome. You'll do very well.
Thank you.
You bet. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us straight ahead on 25 News now at 5. President Biden will pass the torch to Kamala Harris tonight during the Democrat National Convention.
Also ahead, an AI image of singer Taylor Swift posted by former President Trump are causing uproar on social media. A Washington, D.C. councilman has been arrested in an alleged $156,000 bribery scheme. federal prosecutor says Trey Whiten engaged in a scheme to use his elected position to keep government contracts flowing to two companies. He is accused of accepting envelopes with thousands of dollars in cash. White will get kickback from multi-million-dollar city contracts related to Violence Intervention Service in D.C. White was arrested by the FBI Sunday and appeared in court today. He did not enter a plea. He was released today after the hearing and is scheduled for a status conference on September 19th. The Democratic National Convention is kicking off in Chicago today.
And tonight's big moment, a prime-time speech by President Biden when he will officially pass the torch to Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democrat nominee for president.
President Joe Biden is set to take the stage for a historic handoff on opening night of the Democratic National Convention. The 81-year-old exited the race just a few weeks ago after members of his own party questioned his ability to lead for another term.
I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
He quickly endorsed his vice president, Kamala Harris, the new nominee. Biden will set the stage for the convention on night one. He's expected to lay out his argument for Harris, describe the record they've achieved together, and stress the need to defeat former President Donald Trump.
He's going to call on Americans tonight to defend democracy one more time in November by voting for his close governing partner, Vice President Harris and Governor Walz.
This evening's program will put a focus on Biden's decades-long political career. When asked about his mission, the president didn't mince words.
What's your message to Democrats on Monday night?
Win.
And momentum does appear to be building since Biden left the race. Recent polling shows Democratic enthusiasm for a race between Harris and Trump now stands at 85%, a huge jump from 46% in June before Biden dropped out.
Reports are former President Donald Trump posted a carousel of images of singer Taylor Swift on his Truth Social account. He wrote, "I accept," along with the photos, which were fakes and generated by artificial intelligence. One image showed Swift dressed as Uncle Sam with the caption, "Taylor wants you to vote for Donald Trump." That's the report. Others depicted fans and Swifties for Trump shirts. However, Swift has not endorsed a candidate this election cycle and previously supported Biden in 2020. You want your children to eat a lunch that's good for them, but packing the same turkey sandwich, I like turkey sandwiches, but packing the same turkey sandwich every day can get a little boring.
Today's Health Minutes has 10 healthy ideals to help you break out of the packed school lunch rut.
It's not always easy packing healthy lunches that kids will actually eat.
We want to put multiple different food groups in there so we can help our kids have the energy they need to get through that school day.
Registered dietitian Catherine Sherry says parents can easily make lunch healthy and fun. Try cold pasta salad with whole wheat pasta, Italian dressing, some veggies and cheese. Add a side of fruit and hard-boiled eggs for protein. Finger food buffets, low-sodium turkey, cheese, whole wheat crackers, cooked green beans, apple slices, and nut or seed butter. Chicken and guacamole, use rotisserie chicken and whole wheat pita slices, toss in carrots and dip, and some grapes. Nut or seed butter cracker sandwiches, add Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, some sliced bell peppers, and berries. Deconstructed tacos, ground turkey or beef with taco seasoning and all the fixings, add a side of watermelon. Try chicken salad with whole wheat crackers, veggies, and fruit. Roll up your low-sodium deli meat around string cheese, add hummus to dip celery and pita in, and a banana. Leftover pasta, tortellini tastes great cold. Add a fruit cup and a veggie. A chicken wrap, use a whole wheat tortilla, rotisserie chicken, veggies and cheese, maybe some sliced cucumber and ranch to dip. Finally, chicken cubes with barbecue to dip, carrots, a fruit, and some homemade trail mix. Sherry says to also involve your children.
Having them help you pack it is going to make them more likely to eat it.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The Texas Tribune reports conservative groups and individual activists have targeted tens of thousands of Texans over their voting eligibility. State and federal laws protect voters from being improperly removed from the rolls if someone questions their eligibility. To read this full story, go to our website, crossroadstoday.com.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's 98 degrees out there. You probably noticed how toasty it was. It feels like 107 because of the humidity that we still have. And our high officially was 99. You know what's funny? We just can't get over to the 100. I think it's rusted or something, and it only goes to 99. Our average this time of year is 96. Our record, 104. We're going to be hovering at 100 for the next couple of days, but you think it's bad here, you should try West Texas. We'll be talking about that coming up in just a moment. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I don't know about you. I spent the weekend on the couch watching TV. So, you know, we tried going outside, but not even the dogs wanted to go outside. I mean, it was that hot. Of course, today, still blazing, but you notice there's some little moisture coming in into the Gulf here. And in about 4 days, there's a possibility that we may see something spin up here. Now, it's not going to be a low level storm, any tropical, but it is a weakness in the atmosphere that will come into our area and give us a shot at maybe a little rain activity. And wouldn't that be nice? It would help out at least. 98 right about now. These are the current temperatures. You see 96 in El Campo, 98 in Cuero, and 101 down in Refugio. Of course, these temperatures are not at records. They're about 3 to 4 degrees below records. But, you know, it's bad enough. You know, see the heat advisories that are going to be on. This is for today. Well, this is likely tomorrow because you see the bubble right there, right on top of Texas. So, like I said, tomorrow, when we're thinking we'll make the 100, you can see the rest of Texas. We're talking 102 Dallas, 107 San Antonio, 106 Laredo. So like I mentioned, it's not just us, it's the entire state that's under the dome, and the dome is merciless right about now, not giving us any kind of break. Just, I don't know if you felt any of this over the weekend, but I want you to keep track of it. Did you feel dizzy? All right. Did you feel nauseous? Did you have excessive perspiration to where you sat down and it won't stop? Okay, those are all signs of impending heat exhaustion, and that's when you got to just take it inside, because at that point in time you could faint. You really could. That's one of the signs. And if you do, then who's going to pick you up? That's the other question. Well, let's see what's happening to Ernesto. Ernesto's wandering around in the northern Atlantic. Let's do the coordinates just for fun. 43.8 north and 56.1 west. It is now off the coast of Newfoundland. So we've had a couple of tropical storms but it looks like Canada will probably get more storms than we're getting right about now. Now, in addition to the storm continuing to roll away from land, it wasn't benign because from Nova Scotia all the way to northeast, even down to New York State, they had very rough seas over the weekend. In fact, in the Carolinas, some houses floated away off the barrier islands, you know, up there, and the surf was that rough. So the dome, it's on top of us and it's concentrated right over Texas. That's what's making it so brutally hot. Any hope in sight? Not exactly yet. But as we get to the weekend, there's going to be a little system that's going to climb under it, okay? And that's the one that may bring us a little bit more humidity and a shot at some rain showers. 98 tomorrow down along the coast. These are hot temperatures, 101 inland. And for your 7 days, it's blazing right here. But beginning on Saturday, a slight chance of a break in the heat with a little shower or two possible. That is your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that with Crossroads Today on your phone. And here's Don.
Mac, thank you. Coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we'll take a look at your stocks. Plus, more than 1,000 people are unemployed after General Motors layoffs. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow up 237 points, the S&P 500 up 54 points, and the Nasdaq up 245 points. Oil down $2.24, closing at $74.41 per barrel. General Motors is laying off more than 1,000 salaried employees. The affected jobs are in the company's software and services division in an effort to streamline the unit's operations. The layoffs come less than 6 months after a change in the division's leadership. The job cuts represent about 1.3% of the company's global salaried workforce of 76,000 as of the end of last year.
Yes, stay with us. We'll take one last look at your forecast, plus how a community rallied together to reunite a dog and his owner. And now here's a look at what's coming on World News tonight, right after 25 News Now at 5.
This week, behind the scenes of the DNC, President Biden and powerhouse headliners take the stage. Plus, the Gaza hostage and ceasefire talks. The final details on the table. More Americans turn to World News Tonight with David Muir, the most watched newscast on television.
Veteran Brian Germany and his dog Buster were inseparable until a medical emergency left them apart. Brian collapsed from heat exhaustion at Lake Mead, and while he was hospitalized, Buster was taken to a shelter. With mounting impound fees and no way to get his dog back, the community stepped in. Shannon Liu fostered Buster, and a GoFundMe provided Brian with essentials. Thanks to the efforts, and Brian and Buster are now reunited and settling into a new apartment in North Las Vegas, all thanks to the kindness of strangers.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
What a story.
Beautiful.
Hope they continue and have good times. All right, Mac, is
That's
it
a
the
heat
same?
story. That's a heat story right
Yes,
there.
and there's a heat story going on the Crossroads every day.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw what happened there. Basically, the guy was, I think, hiking, I guess, and he passed out, and the dog just wandered away, not knowing what to do. So we don't want you to do that, and we haven't had any issues like that because you're taking care, and that's great. We don't want issues like that. So it's blazing for the next couple of days. Whatever you're doing to stay cool, do that. This weekend, we pick up a shot at getting some afternoon showers, so that'll be nice. Maybe we can get a little bit of a cooling down to the mid-90s.
Mid-50s. I was going to charge you on that.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you for being with us.
And we'll see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is next.